The member for Higgins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Health and Aged Care. Will the Minister please outline to the House how the Morrison government's leadership and investment in our world-class healthcare system is continuing to keep Australians safe and healthy during the COVID-19 pandemic?
The Minister for Health and Aged Care.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker, and I want to thank the member for Higgins for her work prior to Parliament, but during Parliament in supporting and promoting the health of Australians in so many different ways. This pandemic has changed the world in so many ways. One thing it has done is it has reinforced the strength of the Australian health system by comparison with virtually every other health system in the world. As we know, this year alone, over 2 million people have lost their lives to COVID-19 worldwide. 2.067 million people, so 2,067,000 officially, and inevitably, as the World Health Organization has indicated, a vastly higher number. At the same time, the actions taken here in Australia, which the government has overseen but done in partnership with states and territories, with the Australian public and with the health community, has meant that no Australian, not one, to this point in time, has lost their lives to COVID caught in Australia this year. That comparison, as I have mentioned before, is almost unimaginable. It is almost inconceivable that any country the size of Australia could have an outcome such as that in the midst of a global pandemic. But many things have come together to create that outcome. In particular, the investment of over $2 billion in aged care, including the standing up of the single-site worker arrangements in affected LGAs in Sydney, commencing today under the authority of the Chief Medical Officer, including the fact that over $6 billion has been invested in Medicare to assist with COVID, including 60 million telehealth consultations, and telehealth being, in our belief, in my view, the most significant and important transformation in Medicare since it was founded. In addition to that, over $7 billion in vaccine rollout and vaccine acquisition across 6 contracts which have been procured at different times during the course of the program. And then, of course, $9 billion in support for hospitals and PPE. All of that has led to a situation where we are arguably the envy of almost any other country in the world, having seen over 2 million lives lost worldwide, but none lost in Australia to COVID caught in Australia this year. An incidental associated outcome is the fact that no Australian has lost their lives to flu this year. In an ordinary year, on average, over the last 5 years, 105 Australians tragically would have lost their lives to flu. None at this point in time. 35,000 Australians would have been diagnosed with flu. At this stage, it's approximately 350. And so these things together are saving lives and protecting lives.